Alright guys, today we are going to be talking about right triangles and how to find a missing side length in those using the Pythagorean theorem. So we are in our chapter 6 note packet on page 1. We've looked at right triangles already this year, but in a right triangle we have two legs and those are sides A and B. So sides A and B are called the legs of the triangle. And then we have one side, side C, is called the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is the longest side in a right triangle. It is the side across from the right angle, and it is your diagonal side. So your hypotenuse is always in the same location. Your legs can alternate depending on how you look at it. A might be in a different spot, B might be in a different spot than your neighbors or your friends or mine, but your hypotenuse is always stuck as a side across from the right angle. We have the Pythagorean theorem, and it's used to find missing side lengths, only missing side lengths, on a right triangle. And if it's not a right triangle, we are not using this theorem. That formula is going to look like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Again, A and B can be different on someone else's paper. That order also can change because addition is commutative. So A and B don't have to be set in stone, but your c squared, your hypotenuse, always has to be on the equal side by itself. All right, let's look at number 1. Across from your right angle is always your hypotenuse. For some of you, I would make sure I'm labeling that until you get used to locating it. And then A and B can alternate, so I'm going to make it A and B. So it's A squared, 8 squared, plus B squared, 7 squared, equals c squared, which is x, because I don't know it. 8 squared is 64. 7 squared is 49. 64 plus 49 is 113. Now, they don't ask us to find x squared, they ask us to find x. To remove an exponent, we have to square root something. And if I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, that should get us 10.6 inches for my x value. So go ahead and pause the video and try number 2 on your own. Make sure that you're rounding correctly and typing your answer in when the video asks you to. All right, you should have paused your video and done that first problem. Let's try number 3 together. Across from your right angle is 13, so this is your hypotenuse. This is different than before because we actually have a number sitting there instead of our unknown. I'm going to make x my A and 6 my B. You may have looked at it differently, and again, this doesn't matter because addition is commutative. So a squared, x squared, plus b squared, 6 squared, equals c squared, 13 squared. X squared is x squared, 6 squared is 36, and 13 squared is 169. So my x isn't alone yet, so I can't just start square rooting. I need to move that 36 over. So this is a new added step into the problem based off of the last one. So that gets me x squared equals 133. Same step, to get rid of that squared, we need to square root. And x is going to equal 11.5 if I round it to the nearest tenth. All right, guys, go ahead and pause the video and try number 4 on your own. Make sure you're typing your answer in when the video asks you to. All right, that concludes today's video on the Pythagorean theorem. Make sure you're using your notes and asking for help if you need it while you're working through that scavenger hunt on Google Classroom.